Claire Curran.
Thank you, Mr Chair. I'd like to speak in support of the 2 green SOPs I suppose I'd make the comment that this is the discussion that we would be having in Select Committee if we were able to have a Select Committee. In fact, I'd argue that the whole committee stage of the House tonight has been like a Select Committee, but it's been fairly one-sided, Mr Chair, because the ability to actually have a proper debate with all of the parties has not occurred, which is one of our main problems with this. We're also not able to, through this process, hear from submitters representing consumers from different communities throughout rural New Zealand. The only ability that we've had to do that is through a Select Committee process through some petitioners from specific rural communities just outside of Dunedin, which had very strong views. So that, with regards to the 2 SOPs before the House, I would argue that they hit some of the nails on the head with regards to the concerns around the problems that lie with the existing rural broadband initiative. The problem that I have is that, and that the party has, is that we are not able to judge the value of the existing rural broadband initiative in these terms. It is only an amendment to the bill which goes forward for the next tranche of the rural broadband initiative. So therefore there's no ability for there to be an in-depth discussion about whether or not these matters, such as diversity for non-urban communities, competition. Competition is one of the most important things here, Mr Chair, I would contend, because and I just draw your attention to the regulatory impact statement on page 7, point number 17, which says that it's anticipated that much of the future TDL funding earmarked for RBI extensions could be allocated to the larger TDL players if they secure contracts to supply infrastructure for the RBI extensions. Well, right there is a significant issue. The whole purpose of the Rural Broadband Initiative, or one of the purposes, was for it to be open access, so for the infrastructure to be built, but for there to be the ability for other players to come in and for there to be a competitive environment. Well, we don't think that that's occurred. Or if it has, it's only occurred in a very limited way. But we're not absolutely sure because there hasn't been a proper evaluation done. So here we have a risk telling us that the next tranche may be dominated by big players. Now, if that's the case, then is that the best expenditure of the money? So the competition aspect of the SOP number 83 is quite critical. Ensuring that the different technological options that may best serve particular non-urban communities are available. With regard to that, I'm not quite sure what specifically that's referring to, but I'm hoping that it's referring to the fact that 5 megabits, which was offered in the initial rural broadband initiative, is patently not sufficient, particularly in the era of Netflix, where rural New Zealand is basically unable to access the new technologies, the new content offers that are coming into our country, and it's urban New Zealand that's going to be able to access and benefit from those and enjoy those things, and rural New Zealand is just not going to have the capacity. So these are really critical issues, and they're critical issues that should have been teased out in a Select Committee process with the full ability for submitters to come before us. That is not going to happen. Instead, the shadowy, sort of entity that the RBI is going to be allowed to continue on unchecked, and with no accountability, and we implacably oppose that.
Ron Mark.